Aloha, everyone. I'm going to paint a picture of two scenes that takes place every Sunday throughout our congregations throughout the churches. But first, we're going to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Apostle Paul is speaking to Timothy here. Preach the word in season and out of season. Correct, rebuke, and encourage. With great patience and careful instructions. Verse 3, for the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, they will suit their own desires. They will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. Verse 4, they will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. Verse 5, but you keep your head in all situations, endure hardships, do the work of an evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry. Guys, every Sunday throughout our congregations, there's two groups. On one hand, there's men of God preaching the word of God. And on the other hand, there's men behind pulpits speaking what they want to say. The first group are men of God that God has called, sanctified, set apart, selected, handpicked, appointed and anointed to preach the gospel and to speak on behalf of God. On the other hand, these are men who are not called by God, has not been set apart, certainly not appointed and anointed to preach the word of God. These men are mainly motivational speakers, positive thinkers. They're to stir up the crowd, telling them what they want to hear. The Apostle Paul tells Timothy that you need to preach the word in season when it's easy, out of season when it's difficult, hard situations. To what? To correct, rebuke, and encourage. The word rebuke means to chastise, to scold, if you will, to correct the body of believers, to keep them on track, to keep them on track, to follow the good shepherd, Jesus Christ, okay? And so this group, the second group, these men who are behind the pulpits are speaking what people want to hear, their itching ears want to hear, are afraid to stand on the word of God and preach the whole counsel of God. Why? Because they don't want to rattle the cages and ruffle the feathers, if you will. They don't want to rock the boat, They just want to glide through with all praise of man and be popular, okay? In Galatians chapter 1, Paul was speaking to the Galatians church, and he was amazed he was astonished that they had turned away from the truth. They have turned to another gospel, which is no gospel at all, because there were teachers and preachers back then that were telling the Gentile believers that they must follow the Jewish customs and traditions. In other words, they were saying the work of Christ on the cross, the blood, the death, burial, and resurrection was not enough for one to be saved. It's no different from today, guys. The Pharisaical spirit, the religious spirit is alive and well on Sundays, preaching another gospel. Not preaching the whole counsel of God, not preaching Jesus Christ, death, burial, and resurrection. And we need to be aware of that. In the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10, it says, the thief comes about to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus, the good shepherd, comes to give life and more abundantly. These false teachers, these motivational speakers, if you will, they're there to steal from the flock. We need to be aware of the wolves that come in sheep clothing, guys. And how are you aware? You need to know the voice of the good shepherd. He knows his sheep, and they know him by his voice. They know him how? By the word of God. That's why one must always be in the word of God. You must know the Holy Scriptures. Okay? It is Jesus Christ speaking to you. The word incarnated is the word of God. So that you'll be able to understand, identify the false teachers or false preachers, these motivational speakers behind the pulpits on Sundays. Guys, I hope this helps you. Okay? And guys, ultimately, we are to preach the gospel, to seek the approval of God and not of men. Because it says, if I was to seek the approval of men and not of God, I am not a servant of Christ. I don't know about you, but I want to be a servant of Christ, guys. So guys, I hope this helps you. And if it does, hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because there'll be many more messages like this. God is raising up bold men and women that will speak out for God, speak the whole word of God.